Okay, so this is a conclusion of my SSF EA Ballista Elementalist. After 20 hours of play, I reached a level 89, and I think overall this build is overrated. So in terms of tankiness, it's very similar with Seismic Trap, but the damage it does is way worse with SSF gear. So basically because the nature of explosive trap. So without super good bow, actually it does. I mean, it can handle level. I don't think I reached the tier 16 yet. But of course I can do, but still it's kind of like the same place as a fire trap Armageddon brand would reach, which is you can clear as a reasonable like a speed, but if you encounter harder mechanisms, and then it's just suddenly slows down. And if the tankiness, after you hit here maybe 13, 14, then you start 4K life is not able to tank damage for you, because the defensive layer is just not simply not amazing. So unlike the Trapper build, I mean Trapper is dead anyway, so yeah, but like you don't really have to compare, but it does a lot of more damage, and the instant damage from the Exsanguinate was really good, and Seismic Trap allows you to really shoot far away without carrying too much. You just dive in, throw the trap, and get out. But for Totem, in theory, so I enabled the passive, which is allows the totem to taunt enemies, but it doesn't really do much. So basically, you dive in, and then like you basically you can't do like a shield charge or something, so you have to like just dive in, hit this, and dive out, and then like hopefully it will shoot the enemies, but you can't really like kite the enemy out of the screen, but instead you have to be in a certain range. I don't know why, but I mean some of the reasons that you want to apply for curse, but I don't know, like you just basically you just have to care about your totems down doing the job, and you need to look at the number. By the way, this number is really, I really hate it to be here. I don't know if there's any way to change to maybe somewhere like here, so that would be really good, because so basically it's easier for you to just glance down instead of looking up at the corner. So even like if in the middle of it will be better. Well, I don't know, like the HP bar will just on top of it. Basically the hard design of this game is just terrible, and it doesn't allow like a plugin, which sucks ass. But anyway, it is what it is. Still like itemization still pretty good, very solid, better than stupid Diablo 4 or something. So yeah, so back to this game, to this build. I don't think I'll be playing this build because tankiness is very similar with the Fire Trap Armageddon brand, and Armageddon brand is does better single target damage and does better spread AOE, large screen AOE. And you can just you can't really I mean you can just lay a couple of like trap and go keep going, but it's not as good as you hit a brand and go away, hit a brand and go away. And that is feel much smoother. So unfortunately, it's again doesn't really work very well. So what do we do? So like but of course, like for really tough enemies for fire trap elementist, if you cannot tank, for example, I didn't spec the essence nodes. So from some very tanky essence monsters, you basically just you have to face tank or you die. But with this build, you can kite a little bit. So, but I mean, the damage doesn't seem to be better in the bow builds of the ranger class. So I simply don't know the point to play this build, and that is basically the number speaks for itself. So way more players are playing Fire Trap league start, then elemental, then explosion and error. And yeah, so like this is the build. So again, I think probably I was thinking playing something fun and tanky. I'm thinking about the minion necro, but I really don't think it's going to be working out because again the minions doesn't tank the damage net well. So the mobs will still like jam on your face, and manage specters like it's kind of a pain. I think maybe I'll give it one last try, but I don't know. Like that's the primary goal will be test the Atlas league starter strategy, which is which is the thing that I am interested in. So if you look at the Atlas, so I grabbed these nodes, and so basically I climb all the way up here to get this essence remember one tier higher. So this is without this, so like essence is crap. You you just don't get enough screaming license essence enough. You basically most of them are waiting, and waiting is useless. It just update the white items. But if you grab this node, then suddenly most of the essences will be like serves as a much better kills because it guarantees you a usable mod. And you probably, and then you can come back and grab this, so which gives you like double the value most of the time, or like this when you have like the better essence. So this is you have to grab this, and I used to grab this, but then like decide to give up and run an expedition. And my next goal, I think, is probably going to be farm like go direct to expedition, because expedition in lower tier map, I used to send at the expedition nodes wasn't working for the Elementalist fire trap, and that was because my goal was not SSF. My goal was to just buy some cheap gear, get to tier 12 and start doing expedition from the scarabs, and that wouldn't work because your character wouldn't be powerful enough to farm unless it's a fire trap. Unless RF drug is able to tank damage. So I already showed you in my previous video. But for Elementalist, there's no way she can tank damage. But if I want to league start with Witch instead of reroll Witch later, then then of course, well, there are two options. One is to just play Scion, but the other, which is not really ideal because Scion it's just it's good at everything and also bad at everything. So which means I probably should try to go straight to the expedition nodes, grab this one, and then come here to grab this, and then come here to grab this and this, so that at maybe I think 50-ish Atlas progression point, I will be able to, not basically you are around level 80, so it'll be like doing low level expedition. And I think low level expedition, I didn't get any luck from logbook, but yeah, like you can still grab like things like this kind of like very useful currency. Otherwise, you may be running out of alchemy and early game. So and you can of course get chaos from time to time. And if you hit a lucky drop, so basically you are like you can just start buying good gears. But even if not, I think the chaos orb you get from the reroll, you just reroll and huggle yourself, and then you should be able to grab enough currency to help you to start. Essence is not bad when you hit level 75, and from 75 to 80. So basically, before 75, you can do like tier 1 map, and that is you don't need literally don't need any gear at all. You can just rely on your passive tree skill, passive tree strength. After that, you will be likely to have very like capped rest, but not super high life. But with the essence crafting, you can get. So I'll show you guys what I crafted. So basically, for example, like this. So this gives you solves you the strength problem, and the guaranteed cold rest. Let me see if it that displayed as the well, it's just a polar bear. It's not showing us essence, no, essence no model. But yeah, basically this thing gives you like two useful stats. One is suppression, the other is life, and this is basically golf crafting. So this every armor piece has two useful mods and plus one from the essence, so that gives you three, and that is basically it's enough for you to have your store your wrath and the life balance problem, and that can just carry you through like level 80, basically through the atlas you can get to tier 16, like where I'm sitting right now. But the downside is that after that it's pretty hard to improve. So let's see the gears I crafted, right? So I think this is just a base, and for this, so we have oh, so but I forgot one aspect. Very important aspect is that if you get a search on the trade side in the league star scenario, so you don't have basically you don't have the good base, and the base is very important. So base is actually equals to one stats, one useful stats. And with the combination, for example, like plus armor, I don't have, yeah, increased armor percentage, it's actually very important for you to be able to tank damage. As I said, it's not able to tank tier 16 damage, but for tier 11, you basically you don't die, because if you stack armor here is like this 1000 is 1000, right? So this is a lot, not that many, but still it's a lot. So you put all these armors together, combined with determination, and then you have like 10 grand armor in the early game, and that is able for you to soak maybe 70% of the damage. And the physical damage, and of course you also have evasion, which is you come from for free from the armor piece, these kind of things. So that if you add all these things, this gives you around maybe 20% of evasion. So basically armor is a must. For this build, I don't stack ES. But for other builds, you can stack ES if you passive tree doesn't have any evasion nodes. So if you look at the passive tree, we do grab a lot of like for example here, like increase the evasion rating. So that is like it's good for you to stack some evasion. And if not, then always grab ES and armor as a reach. So that will be solid as well if you are like going upper side of the passive tree. So this is the idea, and of course, like you can get chaos, but it's very hard for you to SSF and capture chaos. You can. I actually with these guys I sort of can, but I just didn't. It's a kind of it doesn't feel the need. I was not killed by a lot of chaos damage anyway. So again, let's review the gear. So this gives you, I think this is just a base, and for this gives you like life, movement speed, and so two useful stats, and half one is the plus 25 Ferris, and yeah, like the lightning. No, actually lightning I think they crafted, and the movement speed is the reserve one, the default one. So basically 3.5 useful stats with the armor, so that is going to be like 3.5 useful stats. And this is going to be like 1, so cold res, like life is half, fair is half. So this is just, but strength is kind of like 1 node. So basically I'm getting strength here. So yeah, you put them those together, you get like at least 3 modes in like you just need to spend 2-3 essence to hit this kind of a baseline. So which is like it's very very cheap to get. And for example, this one, I think it's just a base. I see really high life is here, so I stay here. Let it stay here. So this is not very good. They have like a strength and a dexterity, but not very useful. For like yeah, we can do one example. So levels, as long as about level 72, it can roll the highest tier of life and the rest, and that's basically what we want. And we have armor base, and we of course we will make it to highest quality. And then we start to apply one of the veiling essence. So life is always going to be solid choice. Let's start from here. Actually, do we have movement speed? Movement speed, yeah, movement speed. So let's get from here because zeal is you basically is only useful for boots. So let's just use some real setup boots, and we have yeah, we have triple rest, and we can craft alive, and then that's it. So this is this is something that is like so you have like I would say 3.5 useful stats. So if you compare with the one I'm using, so we have like fewer life. I can craft 70 life here, and we have 85 res. 85 res, and here we have yeah, basically I couldn't craft cervix, so I basically have to deal with 1, 2, 3, and sort of 3.5 because the increased armor and evasion is kind of like just half the value. So these are like have equal, basically very similar value. And if I craft with life, I will just save some. I will just grab this. Of course, you don't really use it, but the thing here is that if you craft this, I think some people, of course, they search with empty prefix or empty suffix, but most people will just try to add a life there in the search, and then if you put them together. So if you want to buy something like this, then like it's at least like 15 chaos. In the league start scenario, I think probably you can sell it for 5-6 chaos, which is not really bad. So that's just for science. We'll search this for 70, 50, which we can craft anyway. And this is 80, really like 85. We already have 85. Then well, it's the same. So yeah, that one probably is going to be better than this one. But yeah. Still, this is something that worth like maybe 5 chaos, and in league start, it's still like it's still valuable. And I will explain the province here later. And this is thing that I was using before. So we have like a large evasion, a lot of life. And here we just it's very hard for us to get 5 links, so I just keep using this one. And this one crafted? No, this is probably just a base, because the reason why I left some bases here is that the base, the improvement is very hard to obtain after the level 80, 85. So between like 85 and 89, I don't think I updated a single piece of the armor. The reason is that firstly, if it's 5 link, it's very hard to get a 5 link SSF. So yeah, it's just like I have to keep using it. And for the other pieces, so what we are aiming for. So now we have live, so 80 live. So this is not the biggest live, but they have 80 here. So you have decent amount of live. I think it's tier 2 probably. It's tier 2. We have decent amount of life, and the rest are not amazing at some of the pieces, but we are capped. And then what do we do? So you can get more rest, but what is the like why would we do that? I'm not using the I actually I want to use purity of elements because that gives my element immune. And for element email, it's very hard for you to get without trading. And to just craft like this, using this cheap way to craft. Unfortunately, it will be very hard to replace that to make a replacement. Same thing goes for the cure. So you have like life, rest, and you have like increased bow damage. And accuracy, we do need accuracy here, and attack speed is pretty hard to get. So actually, I don't know if I'll grab the attack speed here. Interesting. So yeah, maybe I can grab this. Oh, this is way old, probably. That is why I didn't. Well, I don't know. Is it on the low side? Yeah, it's still a good thing. Yeah. So I don't know. But another reason why I don't want to place this build is that I you mostly for the speed, attack speed or like cast speed build, you need to hit a certain breakpoints and to calculate breakpoints pain DS. I don't really want to use POB all the time, and I don't want to like spend a lot of time learning that. So again, that's another reason why I don't want to play this build. And this covers the weapon. This just got some lucky job. I did this weapon to get pretty high flat damage, so that makes it better than the Quill Ring unique bow I was using. But in the end, the armor and the weapon pieces are very hard to upgrade after level 85. Actually, after level 82, which means you are probably just hitting the yellow map, in the later stage of yellow map, it's very hard to improve. And without trading, of course. And if you actually play SSF, you will have different ways, but I don't really want to play SSF just to simulate how hard it is for me to obtain the gear. So that's just basically it says that it's useless. So after that, after 85, if I cannot get better gear, then if I keep selling things at 4 or 5 kills, that's probably not the thing I want to do. But instead, if you use some expedition, so hopefully you can keep scaling your your gamble, your rock craft, these kind of things. Well, 81. Do I have any good base here? Trap, no. Don't think we can have here. The level is too low. So now let's just reroll, and we can get 84 base, 83, and 85. Do we have 86 base? Yeah, we don't have 86. Probably because I haven't hit level 90 yet. But now, like, you can maybe craft something from this. But rock is pretty expensive to craft, so unlike Trojan, you can just grab some currency really fast. But for rock, you actually, for example, if I want to do this, a small extra room could have a beneficial. Yeah. So the tier, they're all pretty bad. So if you increase one tier, it doesn't really do much. So I will skip here. And to remove these terrible things is not really bad, but as you can see, basically I will just use up all the currency. And I always reroll if it's reroll 3 times. Usually you could get some better things. So now we don't get, and we add one, and they are still pretty bad. And add one, this is good, and let's add another one. So we can't really remove at this point. So if we remove, we don't have enough crafting to fill in the rest. So I have to skip this one. And then like we can add a surface, or we can leave the surface open. So leave it open actually is better. But this thing is already pretty bad. So well, actually I will just take it. So here, you know, like you just basically use up your grand order artifact, so you can't really craft much. And if it's not spell damage and mana, I could use it, but no, it has. So I will just put it here. So yeah, these are the gearing part, and about what I do I use essence for, and why I think it's probably worth to start trying some other strategy. There's one other problem with the essence is that essence essence monsters can be really tough to kill. So I didn't go ahead with Essence this league, but before when I played, then I think I played something like Secret Major, these kind of things. So they can just own all the Essence, so it was fine. People were complaining it all the time, but now when I play on like this EA Ballista build, I feel like yes, now I feel like I feel that it's pretty tough to kill some of the Essence monsters. It's better for you to just give up and you know, like run next map instead of spending 5-10 minutes killing a stupid essence monster. And if you, this problem is not there for expedition, so you do need to read. But if you read the description, yeah, it's basically you know, like you can make it really simple without choosing those remnants. And for like a harvest, that's another thing that I potentially can consider going league start. But the thing with essence, with harvest is that the difficulty, I think it's under between the easy essence monster and the hard essence monster. It's kind of sitting between. They are not super hard, but they are tough. They can take like a half a minute or even 1 minute to kill. So essence, essence has that problem. And the last problem is in terms of SSS is the gearing of the drawers. So for these types, it's actually pretty tough to roll because only because if you don't use any uniques, then like you have all the life and you have all the life and the rest modes needed here. And what you are aiming for and you don't have the chaos rest. You could get the chaos rest from ring, but it's very hard to craft a defensive ring. Even though like a ring like this is a lot of rest, so these are super cheap. So like just one chaos on trade side, even from this star scenario. But it's very hard to craft. I will show you really quick. So basically with this build, I will avoid add fire damage because I'm using the EE notebook that requires you to apply either cold or lightning damage from attack to trigger fire explosion so that you can stack on your explosion fuses. And we can use this, and basically, you know, like this kind of things we don't really want to like add cold damage to spell, and we don't want other light modes. So like this is the only thing that is useful for. So let's just apply it to ring. So to ring, if you apply this, and this, and you can see like this is kind of like you get the essence node itself is just half of the value, so it's not that amazing in terms of adding damage. You want to scale DOT, but it's very hard to hit. And now you have like a less than half value life, you have less than half fire, so this is basically 1.5-ish value of the ring, so that is pretty bad. And this is, again, this is a 1.5. Well, maybe consider the dexterity you need it, that will be 2, but still it's Let me see if I can replace the current ring with this one. Actually, this is the ring that I hit. Surprisingly, it's surprisingly a better one than the other one, the other crafted. So this I can apply for chaos, and yeah, I can apply for chaos, fire and chaos. So and let's see the damage. Damages I think should be very similar because we are using the similar nodes, but let's see. So the damage, it's we are going to use this tooltip. It's not as good as POB, but we can do very rough estimation to see if the number goes up or goes down. Now number goes up, so we can craft this one. So it seems to be easy, but actually this is maybe my 20-ish craft. So Chaos Res I think it's better than this than the fire damage. So we are going to spend Chaos Orbs on this, and this gives us like more Chaos Res. And yeah, we can keep trying. I should try before I hit it, but well, I use it up anyway. So yeah, so for ring is something like this. So I hit something that's useful, but as you can see, it's still just like one open, that is one value, and basically I have hit maybe 1 point of like 2 face value, and that is already a very good outcome. The reason is the FX pool is way larger for the jewels than the armor pieces. For armor pieces, a lot of things are useful, but for the jewels, it's very hard to actually hit the useful stats. So unfortunately, you know, like this is yeah, this is, so it's you either like just keep rerolling or pick it up an ID, and none of these will give you the good outcome. However, if you are playing Tree League, it's very easy to buy like from 1 chaos to 2 chaos, from 1 to 2 chaos to get the rings to fix your rest and everything. So that's why I feel like it's probably not that useful to craft these jewels. So they are harder to craft. So they are harder to craft. So they are harder to craft, right? To just you know, like this is the thing that you need. And why the chaos is not listed here? I don't know. So it's very hard. It's harder to craft, and it sells less. So you know, like which means you can spend. It's very easy for you to buy, but very hard for you. Very hard to craft, and this is very hard to craft, but very easy to buy. I don't really know why. Perhaps there are some either people are just mass ID rings, or they craft the rings a different way. Maybe you use harvest or like something. I don't know. But I just can't think of any way that can craft with like 1 chaos can give you 100 res like in a stable way. If I knew that, then I would probably craft in that instead of essence. But having this being said, we have like more life now, which is a good thing, and we can like keep craft the other rings to show whether it was just a coincidence or. Yeah, we don't want to add fire to damage, and yeah, we probably want to chaos. So let's just try to reroll this one. Okay, so let's reroll this reroll landing because I have 3 this, so I will just use these 3. So 1, so not useful at all. 2, not useful at all. So and 3. So as you can see, it's very hard to hit. So that this is basically 3 essence you didn't even hit like 2 FX value. So same thing goes to all the like 3 types of draw. So I already used up this. I'm not going to use the rest. So the last thing I'm going to try is to craft this the ES build. So then this is this essence is for I think we have the essence, which is the energy shield one. Yeah, this essence shield one. So let's just try to, and this is harder to craft. So basically we are aiming for ideally above 200 energy shield. and we need basically the flat energy shield, the default one, and the percentage of energy shield. And this will usually you don't really hit within like 10 essence. So 158 and yeah, 200. So this is something that you can actually use for ES build. So this will actually gives you a decent chunk of energy shield, and it's probably want to sell that. So this, by the way, also gives you energy shield. So if you add a res here, I think you probably is going to sell like 5 chaos already. Basically, you already spend like 3 chaos and the base that is like almost perfect base. So this is something that you get at least a couple from maps above level 72. So they are pretty easy to obtain and pretty easy to craft, and very good for SSF. So, and we can take a look at another other gray gear here. We can omit the body armor one. So let's just look at this. So this is a armor, and we have chaos rest here. So that is something that is like one affix, but unfortunately it doesn't have open affix. So this is not useful. And for this, it's yeah, like this is something that is sort of useful. This is something that is not very useful because we didn't hit the energy shield one, and this is not very useful. We just leave it as is, and this something that we can well, there's no speed. Yeah, for both you always want to practice movement speed. So yeah, this is the wrong way to use your resistant essence. So for this, yeah, let's just craft this to showcase how it looks like. I think this I picked it up as rare, so I don't pick up magic because I don't want to waste either the regular orb or the scourging orb. And basically, the bases are enough. So we just grab either the normal one or the rare one. So the rare one probably is going to not that useful. So we are going to have die of 5, and yeah, let's go with this 5. And yeah, I think all these are just bases. And now we can do some craft demonstration. Okay, and then like we want to have resistant. So actually we want to use live. Live is the best one, and let's just use on this one. And yeah, we didn't hit anything. And for the resistance one, what do we have right now? We have a code here, so I will go with code. So so these are the boots, right? So we'll go. Oh, these are boots. So I'll go with this. Yeah, we didn't have live, so we want to hit live for this. And for these things, by the way, if you don't have movement speed, well, let me just finish the crafting of the live. So let's use live for this one. So let's see, not useful. Chaos, it's a little bit useful. I think we can craft code, and we have fewer life. Well, we don't have as much armor, so it's not very good, but I will keep it as is. And then for Gauntlet, it's a little bit hard to craft. So now we have so we want to have chaos, but and actually it's pretty hard to craft. So yeah, I will just use this essence, and until I hit something that is in theory that it can be sold. Attack speed actually is good mod. So this is something that is sort of useful. These are things that are already like sort of useful. So if you look for attack speed and armor base, the name is ridiculous, but it's like probably can be sold at 10 chaos. And for this one, we have life and we have chaos, and this is going to be like a 3. And if you craft elemental, probably it's going to hit 5. And that is why it's like a chaos res, even though it's just tier 5, it's better than the elemental, because you can, if you just want to list it, you have to spend like 3 chaos to, I forgot, 2 or 3 chaos to do the veiled mod crafting, and you basically don't really want to spend that money just to list it as a high price. So by default it has this, and then you craft, let's say, craft a code. Oh, you can't really craft code. Okay, like this actually decreases value, so you can only craft armor, and this will decrease. Wait a second, this is boots. I was stupid. What do we have now? Yeah, it's a boots. So yeah, well, I mean, again, so like the concept is that you craft this one, so that people are like to search for speed. Right, so if you search speed and search for this, and suddenly it becomes 30 kills, and probably they don't really want to care about speed, but still it's the same thing. So yeah, this is something that is sort of like useful. And movement speed, so we have 1, and let's just dump 1 into, which one's better? It's similar. So this old energy shield is not good. I should get rid of this one. But evasion, yeah, this is good for my build. So we have life regen, we have speed, and we have decent fire res. So we could just craft a life and call it a day, or we can just keep making it better, which is not better. But we have suppression, so if you're aiming to cast resing, you definitely want to keep something like this. So yeah, this is the basic concept of crafting. So all these things are sort of useful. I mean, I probably am going to have a rest problem with this. Yeah, it's not useful. So all these things we may be able to sell at League Star scenario. And that is something we can do with essence, if you want to go with essence, because I'm thinking I could grab expedition and then grab the harvest. I think, where's harvest? And they're both on this side, and you ignore essence, or we can get essence. The essence is you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points minimum to make it to work. Probably you don't want to spend another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points to double the value. But maybe you can actually, once you enter the ring area, which probably you are going to like map to. So, and by the way, I kind of want to give up the map nodes. I want to like maybe buy map later and stay at the normal progression, stay at the yellow map and farm currency. So probably I'm going to like pass through here, and 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe pass this way and grab this, and then pass this way back and grab this. So then my expedition will be over, and then we can come here and grab this, or like yeah, the other way is to come here, 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 and then here, and then all the way here. Or maybe after grab this and this, we will be missing the logbook, but logbook is pretty hard to obtain early game anyway, so it's not valuable. At least we have chance here. So it's hard to say. You could get this, and then this. But just this is a lot of way past through, and by that point you probably already want to grab the outer nodes. So yeah, it's hard to say. I think I need to think about it. But anyway, the I don't think this is very useful, so I'm going to refund this one, and I'm going to like allocate these two. So now the deviation is at the 18 mark, and with the 79, 39. So now it's going to be like 53. This basic uses, and we have like more evasion. Yeah, and some people grab this because other than this, the useful node would be come here and grab the dirty techniques, or come from this path. But the goal again is to farm the enough currency to buy Phantasmal Creation, and probably Aegis Aurora, and the in Syndicate card. For the after getting these three pieces, so now how many regret I have this point? So I have 21 regret. It's not enough to respec. Yeah, so this is what my currency looks like, and how much we can sell for this one. Yeah, so if you sell all this one, probably you can afford a Phantasmal Cremation if not a lot of people are selling this. So yeah, this is a lot of personal thinking. What our other passives are like. Yeah, 67. So I was aiming for this, and I was not aiming for this. I spent a lot of time not farming, but crafting and figure out the build and in SF in the SS way. So SSF, it's like you have no problem to hit the red map, but I think without a 6-link Eater and Syrian S Arch will be problematic. I think I will just take a screenshot here. Yeah, 22 hours. Yeah. So 22 hours, level 89, and reasonable allies tree and passive. I think this is yeah, this is okay. Experimental approach. I don't know if I really want to try the minion build or not. I think it's probably going to be bad. But other than that, I will probably just go with the Armageddon brand build, and the killer speed is really good. So thank you, and that's the time. So we already talked about it for nearly 48 minutes. So see you next time.